Land is really a site of power. A lot of injustice and oppressive systems are entangled with who controls land.
And in the UK, we used to have millions and millions of acres of common land. And over hundreds of centuries of enclosures acts, almost all of that common land has been privatised, with forms of enclosure still taking place today.
I am born and raised Brummie. This is a city of enormous loss. The magnitude at which we've lost our social spaces is devastating, and I can't express that enough. And somehow, some of us keep leaning in, we keep digging, we keep going, yo, things need to build, right?
Land is also a site of transformation. If you have access to land, you have space to organize, to rest, to heal, to grow food, to grow buildings as well, and to repair our relationships to the ecologies around us.
I've had the privilege to live in this area for the past 22 years, and I've walked down Icknield Road on an almost daily basis, looking at this derelict, abandoned, unwanted, uncared for brownfield site that should be and could be used for the betterment of the local community.
We spent 2 years working with a whole raft of community organizations, amazing people that are sitting here at the moment, trying to think how to convince the developer to do something here that makes sense for the local community and not just for the economy of this place, not just bring more money to the shareholders. How do we make sure we protect this incredible place here?
There's more people here that realise they've got something to give, and that they've got a voice and that they can make a difference. There isn't anything better than that.
In communities, what I've witnessed is that women are digging deep and they are using every skill that they have and learning and stretching and demanding that actually communities are here for the future. They're not going to be wiped out by development.
"14 years ago, when a small group of us gathered together in Urban Coffee Company, thanks to Annika Diva. As many of you know who were there in that time, it doesn't take long. If you bring a couple of neighbours together, bring your community together, it doesn't take long to see the incredible power, imagination, creativity, energy, beauty, abundance that exists within our communities. In 2012, in Cannon Hill Park, by the Mac, suddenly this explosion of creatives and artists and musicians and neighbours and citizens were telling their stories, their hopes, their dreams, their ideas, and it was, once you've seen that, you can't forget. We started to think, you know what, we need to organise beyond this. TEDx went on for many, many years. We also learnt what it means to put your head above the parapet. What happens next? We start to go, we need to do something, and so begins the story of Impact Hub Birmingham. What we saw in the hub was that there was no shortage of imagination, creativity. The space was full, day and night. It was beautiful, but it couldn't work. No matter how well we did, no matter how much we were creating, no matter what we were doing, every time we did well, the rents would go up, everything would happen, and it was never possible. What we understood was the power of what we had, the ideas of what needed to change, the hope and the possibility, but this was not going to work on the rules of the current system. We were going to have to reimagine and find economic ideas that are going to help us to value all the things that are happening in that space. We're going to have to be able to rewrite the relationship with land, whereby we're not trying to build these stories of deep power of community on these ideas of we'll just do it by hiring spaces from landlords. We know we were going to have to reimagine the relationship between so much to be able to make those things work. Collectively, all of us, lots of us, and we were like, okay, right, no more begging cap in hand for rights to things that should be human rights. We need to get into the game, and we need to figure out how our community can at first own, because that's the dominant model and how we can steward sites of our own, but not just for ourselves, to show models of what regenerative, non-extractive systems of organising and infrastructure, both in these times looks like and in the times that are coming ahead.
I'm actually quite enjoying having a bit of healthy naivety. I think it's good to have a bit of naivety and assume that things can be done, so that when the system starts to snap back, you're there to go, well, that's ridiculous. There's got to be a way around it.
What I feel we have in common here is that we want to dream. Let's dream with love. Let's dream despite of all the stuff. Let's resist with love.
Just before Christmas, on the Friday at 6:55 p.m, the last working seconds before Christmas, we were able to take on ownership of this site.
I've been trained to believe that all of this isn't possible, and I have never doubted that this was going to happen. So can we just give another big up, because today is a big moment. It is the start of a massive journey ahead. I'm asking that you please continue to support Civic Square in everything that is coming ahead, because nothing is done until it's done, and this is going to require all of our ongoing commitment to each other. Most of that is not sexy work.
This place here in Birmingham is the place that I most want to tell and show people and bring them here. If I could ever say I feel proud to be British, and that's not easy, but if anything were to make me proud to be British, I want to show them here. This is what makes me proud to be part of Britain in the 21st century. What you're doing here as a community, how you're reinventing this place.
Took on ownership. For those who've been following this journey of the full freehold, not the like freehold, not a long lease. It means we get to put a covenant on the land that will mean that in perpetuity it will be for whatever we decide together, future generations, for nature, for the ecology of the place, for young people in the future, for neighbours in the future, for whatever else we want to do with that covenant. That means that we can not only take it out of speculation, but we can start to grow it into a site of real deep imagination and possibility.
We probably might not see all of the fruits of this, and that's okay, because I think what we're doing is building for something else, planting the seeds of possibility for a different type of future.
I don't know if we're rewriting the land contracts. I think we're remembering our relationship to land, and that we are land and the land is us.
It's clear to me that without land to gather on and steward communally, all of these learning exchanges, sharings of practical wisdom, and rehearsals of a more regenerative kind of community resilience are highly unlikely to happen. So huge congratulations to Civic Square.
There is absolutely no way that we can go through the thousands and thousands of names and projects and people and neighbours and communities that have helped to make this happen. There's no way I can go through every single team member, every single relationship to this space and thank everyone.
Pushing back and trying to redistribute power and wealth in this space is not for the faint-hearted. And so we draw upon that well of love that was deposited in us when we came in October 2020. And since then, through practicing solidarity and channeling serious, no-nonsense auntie energy, for real, running on mad love from you lot, we, along with many other people, were able to liberate this land for Ladywood. Let me tell you, the amount of zeros that I see when I get into the affairs of wealth holders and philanthropy, there is enough out there for everyone, for all of us to experience shared abundance and prosperity. And so for anyone working in philanthropy or resource mobilisation, let it be known that this is what wealth should be doing.
Revolution is not a destructive process, right? But a rigorous, strategic, loving practice of possibility. Malcolm X says land is the basis of revolution. And I think that revolution is just how we honor life, right? As the great Jill Scott Heron says, the revolution will not be televised. I want to add that it is already here. Let's go.